So you ask a home seller, why are you thinking about selling? And they come back at you with something like, listen, you contacted me. You tell me, what's your offer? How do you respond to that? So the best way I know to respond to that is using what we call picture perfect questions. And in particular, for this scenario, I recommend using something called instant influence. And that's from a book of the same name. Instant influence is really 6 questions. I'm going to give you 3 of those questions right now. 6 questions that you can use to influence anyone to do anything relatively quickly. Now, this was developed to get people who were addicted to drugs and alcohol to quit, really with the conversation that lasted not more than just a couple of minutes, developed by an ER doctor. It's used all across the United States and in emergency rooms and trauma centers today, actually. But let me give you the 3 questions you can use to talk to any seller that's pushing back a little bit, that's really tossing it back on you. So the first question is going to be, well, let me ask you this. If you did decide to sell, why would you? Now, we ask that question to try to figure out, is there any underlying or deeply hidden motivation? Any compelling reason that would lead them to take action or further the conversation? So again, that first question is, hey, listen, if you did decide to sell, why in the world would you? Now, after you get an answer to that, the second question is going to be really just some version of, well, listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to make some type of change, to sell the property? And it doesn't matter what they say here, right? They're going to say maybe a 2 or a 3 or a 4. The most common answer is going to be a 6 or a 7 if there's a lot of motivation there. But usually it's never going to be a 10. It's never going to be a 1. If it is a 10, you don't need to influence them. They're already motivated, right? So you're going to get something usually between 2 and 7 or somewhere in between. The next thing you're going to ask is, why didn't you pick a lower number? And what that's going to force your seller to do, force your prospect to do, is start to tell you why their reasons for selling are important. So again, question number 1, if you did decide to sell, to me, to anyone else now or in 10 years from now, why would you? Really? Well, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10 right now, how ready are you to make that change, to sell your property? A 4. I'm kind of curious. Why didn't you pick a lower number? And that's it. So those are 3 questions you can use to take a prospect who's on the fence or who's pushing back or who's being wishy-washy with you and get them to open up and start to share their motivations and actually influence them to take a next step with you. See you later.